Welcome back to the Relaxing Ghost channel here on YouTube. As always, your host with the most, Ghost. Today we got the ECW unreleased DVD collection for you guys. This is going to be a fun one to go back and check out. These were first released, I believe, back in 2014, or maybe a little bit earlier than that. Let's take a quick look. Yeah, 2012, and I believe they released one every year for the next 3 years, so we have 2012, 13, 14, maybe 15. The last one was released, 2015. So these are like the counterparts to like the best of Monday Nitro volumes or the Attitude Era volumes. This is like the ECW sets of these. So these are mostly like TV matches and different matches like that. So technically these have been released. They're not unreleased matches. I'm not really a fan of the name here. Like, why couldn't they just call it the best of ECW? Or I get it, they're unreleased, never before on DVD, but that's another story for another day. Overall, I really love the packaging on these three sets. I kind of wish they would have stuck with one color combination, because I really like the red and the black on one. I really like the purple and white. Not so much a fan of the blue and the black here, but I get it. It's hosted by the Blue World Order, but let's take a look at the spines. Really, really nice spines. Like I said, really like the first two colors. I really like the white and the blue, but not so much the blue and the black. So let's run through these guys. These are all, 7 to 7.5 hours each, which is kind of sad. We're missing about 6 hours total here. So let's run through volume 1 first, guys. Like I said, released back in 2012 with a 7-hour runtime. We got Douglas and Bam Bam on the cover there. Pretty cool. So, from its birthplace in South Philly to TV, PC, and tablet screens around the world, your calls have been answered as ECW returns to home entertainment by popular demand. Dive into the hardcore vault with the longtime, unmistakably voice of the original ECW, Joey Styles, who provides a new and in-depth commentary for this rare collection of matches never before released on DVD. You'll shout, "Oh my God," as you relive some of the archives, waiting to be unleashed until now. So then they run down through some of the superstars of this 3-disc set. All three are hosted by Joey Styles and a counterpart, I believe. So we got Best of All, the match featuring Dreamer winning the ECW Championship from Taz, that WWE legally prohibited ECW from televising 12 years ago, is now being made available for the world to see. So that's really cool. Opener up, I really like the interior artwork on this. You got your ECW, you got Dreamer and Taz, like they mentioned on the back there. Inside, really, really cool. Show you the disc art. Disc art is really nice. They do the ECW for all three sets are pretty similar in this manner with the disc art. So we'll see that as we move along. So let's run down the matches. The match listing is behind the disc art, so let's get right into it, guys. So I did recently just pick up the first 2 volumes. I do have yet to watch them, so anytime you guys feel free, comment down below. Let me know what is your favorite volume of the 3, and some of the matches I should be looking out for on these. Now let's get into this. Welcome to the land of the extreme for the NWA Heavyweight Championship. Shane Douglas versus Too Cold Scorpio. Tommy Dreamer versus Raven. Dean Malenko and Too Cold versus Taz and Eddie Guerrero. We got Dean Malenko versus Eddie Guerrero. Shane Douglas versus Cactus Jack. Chris Jericho versus Too Cold Scorpio. Disc 2. We got a tables and the ladder match for the ECW tag titles. RVD and Sabu versus the Eliminators. Sabu versus Taz. Shane Douglas versus Bam Bam Bigelow. Sabu and RVD versus Hayabusa and Jinsei Shinzakai. RVD versus Jerry Lynn. It's always a classic. Disc 3. Shane Douglas versus Taz. The Impact Players, which was Justin Credible and Lance Storm versus RVD and Jerry Lynn. Mike Awesome versus Masato Tanaka. Taz versus Dreamer. Tommy Dreamer versus Justin Credible. Rhino versus Sandman. Rhino versus Spike Dudley. Jerry Lynn versus Christian York. And then a Yoshihiro Tajiri and Mikey Whipwreck versus Kid Cash and Super Crazy versus the FBI. So, a lot going on here. Volume 2, again, fairly similar. All three are fairly similar. There's your spine. Again, this would be released in 2013. Very hard to read there, but not going to run down the back. But if you like, pause right there and read. Only 7.5 hours this time. I really like this purple and black, but the black and purple, it doesn't contrast well, and it does get hard to read at times. So, again, really nice disc art. I really like that purple and white. I kind of wish they would have stuck with the red and white, like the purple and white and blue and white throughout, not black and the color. There's your inside panel. Really, really nice. Let's take out the discs. Take a look at the matches. So Volume 2 is hosted by Tommy Dreamer and Joey Styles, like I mentioned. So we got the first ever ECW match between Tommy Dreamer and Tasmaniac. Terry Funk and Arn Anderson versus Sabu and Bobby Eaton. Cactus Jack versus Terry Funk. An I Quit match, Tommy Dreamer versus Sandman. We got WrestlePalooza there. Eddie Guerrero and the Steiners versus Too Cold Scorpio, Dean Malenko and Cactus Jack. Raven versus Tommy Dreamer. House Party, Public Enemy versus the Gangstas. Disc 2. This is a little bit better to read. Chris Jericho versus Taz. Too Cold Scorpio versus Shane Douglas. Sabu and Jericho. Then we got Dick to Go, Terry Boy, and Taka Michinoku versus Gran Hamada, Gran Nahiwa, and Grey Sasuke. Also, we got the Eliminators, the Gangstas, and the Dudleys in a three-way dance for the ECW tag titles. And then we got Sandman, Taz, Dreamer, and Al Snow versus Sabu, RVD, Doug Furnace, and Phil LaFawn. We also got Shane Douglas versus Al Snow. Chris Candido and Lance Storm versus Sabu and RVD. Three-way dance for the FTW World title, Sabu, Taz, and Bam Bam. The Dudleys versus Spike Dudley and Balls Mahoney. Throughout these sets, I can already see a few matches that were on the previous ECW DVDs. Like the Extreme Rules DVD, the Bloodsport. So we got Mike Awesome versus Rhino. Tajiri, Jerry Lynn, and Super Crazy. RVD versus Mikey Whipwreck. Just Incredible, Jerry Lynn, and Steve Corino. In a three-way dance for the ECW World title. So let's move on to Volume 3, guys. Alright, Volume 3 here. We got RVD, and it looks like maybe Jerry Lynn on the cover. But again, this would be hosted by the Joey Styles, Blue Meanie, and Stevie Richards. Released in 2015, like I mentioned earlier. But I really like the interior artwork. but I'm not a fan of the spine or the overall the blue and I don't know. Really like that. A picture of the host with the most. Not really a fan of the blue and black disc art, but there we have it. I'm not also a fan of the match listing behind the discs either, but it's okay sometimes. Like stuff like this, it's really hard to read. So disc 1, we got a ECW World Tag Title match. Tommy Dreamer and Shane Douglas versus Kevin Sullivan and Tasmaniac. Too Cold Scorpio versus Dean Malenko. Shane Douglas versus Ron Simmons. Moving down, we got Public Enemy versus Sabu and Tasmaniac. Dean Malenko, Eddie Guerrero, and versus Eddie and Tasmaniac. Too Cold and Dean Malenko versus Eddie Guerrero and Tasmaniac. There we go. Cactus Jack versus Sabu. Rey Mysterio and 911 call out the Eliminators. Then we have Rey Mysterio and 911 versus the Eliminators. So like I mentioned earlier, a lot of this stuff is just from Hardcore TV or some of the pay-per-views that was never released on DVD. Disc 2, Just Another Night, Cactus Jack versus Bam Bam Bigelow. Cactus Jack is ruined merchandise. Chris Jericho versus Shane Douglas. Raven versus Tommy Dreamer. The Eliminators versus the Dudley Boys. We got Taz versus RVD. Three-way dance. Sandman, Big Stevie Cool, and Raven. And then Terry Funk versus Big Stevie Cool for the ECW Heavyweight title. Disc 3. Shane Douglas versus Bam Bam Bigelow. We got a tag title match. Tag champion versus tag champion. Lance Storm versus Chris Candido. We got Yoshihiro, the Taz Killer Tajiri, with Taz versus Tajiri at Hostile City Showdown 99. Spike and Balls Mahoney versus the Dudley Boys. Dudley Boys versus Tommy Dreamer and Raven. RVD versus Rhino. Steve Corino versus Rhino. Kid Cash versus Easy Money. Double Jeopardy ECW World Heavyweight title match. Steve Corino, Just Incredible, Jerry Lynn, and Sandman. Overall, guys, we got 3 really nice sets. A lot of matches, a big variety of matches as well. Like I said, comment down below some of your favorites from these 3-disc sets. Take some time and subscribe, guys. We'll talk to you later. Peace.